Fucking hell. Alrighty, here we are back. So, I'm skipping a few days because there is just not much happening, honestly. It's just like constant, like repeated work, if there is any. And there has been some. So mainly I've been working on the Excel spreadsheet most of the time. So what other things I've done included working out, eating clean. I don't know, like fucking doing flashcards on Obsidian, like studying them, and like in the meantime, maybe like going to sleep or like washing the dishes. I will listen to fucking articles from Kiwix. Yeah, I already explained what Kiwix was in a couple of episodes ago. Basically like fucking encyclopedia on my fucking phone. What else? Fucking yeah. Honestly, I don't remember what I did. I should check actually the. Okay, yes, I did many things. Okay, so yesterday yesterday I didn't do much. I just tidied up stuff, and today I uploaded fucking videos, man. Man, what the fuck? Other than that, I also renamed a couple of videos. I scheduled them, and I uploaded like probably like 20-25 videos. I've cared way less about the thumbnail and in general like the uploading type. Like maybe like sometimes I will just put only one thumbnail, like the fucking pre-selected ones. And I'm very happy about that because it was becoming very stressful to upload those many videos. Also. Okay, yes, I also started researching at around probably like after the workouts. I basically started looking into the market research side of things. I kind of completed the Excel sheet. I maybe have to add a few more elements, like maybe I don't fucking know what happened there. Maybe it was some like voice command. Anyway, maybe like I have to add the refrigerator. I have to make the graphs, the functions to understand what's the variable that has the most weight and shit. Okay, because I want to visually see that. Like just playing with the numbers gives me a rough idea of what really matters. For example, the choice of the thickness of the meat inside the fucking dehydrator like changes the price of just a few cents. It's not notable. Okay, so I want to see what really matters. I saw what really mattered was how much meat I ordered in 1 month, and by extension how much I sold. Now I think about it, but mainly like it reduced the price per kilogram by a lot. Okay, because it reduced the expenses, like the fixed expenses relative to the total cost. Strange shit, but essentially, yeah, I noticed there are a few variables that really matter, and I want to understand which is the heaviest. Okay, so I have to do that calculation. I have to like do a couple of small things, but roughly speaking, like the concept is there. Maybe I have to add a few more elements I didn't account for, but other than that, man, like it looks amazing. I'm very happy with this design. It looks a little bit better than last time, if you noticed. I've got these three, like this is the total cost, this is the simulation. I separate the different elements into separate tables so I can just have a cleaner display here. I also want to implement these total costs inside this one and make only one like big variable cost spreadsheet with the different fucking tables according to the fucking I cannot say, why do I say fuck? I have to speak better, man. I cannot say a word without saying fucking, man. Anyway, yeah, just doing this, and I also have this one down there. I have a better like formatting choice. Like this is the same as last time. I also added this rule. Basically, if it is this color, it means it is a mirrored value. It is not the original one. So, for example, this is green because you can like this varies a lot, and you decide this. But yeah, it's basically mirrored from here, so it's not something you should modify. As you can see, there is so basically just keep it in mind, I guess. Also, these ones are like mirrored. As you can see, the colors are different. I don't know how much you can see on the webcam, on the GoPro. And also the blue with the line is the link, and this includes links to cells. So like as you can see, these links to this fucking thing, just to make it easy for other people to understand, I guess. Still not the final form, but I've made this. And man, I have to say something else. I have to say something about Obsidian and the fucking space repetition system. I think this is like, I really enjoyed that. Okay, for example, today I was researching the market research side of things, and while researching, I was copy pasting segments from the article inside my note, and that is again something new I approach. I usually don't take notes that way. I don't know, man. It just feels like fucking copy pasting bullshit. You're not actually getting the knowledge. What I'm trying to do now is basically, as I copy pasted the paragraphs and read them, obviously not all the paragraphs, but I try to highlight and format for the space repetition plugin the important concepts and try to adjust the syntax to help me out. And I found that I think this is gonna help me a lot, honestly, because when you read something like an article with paragraphs and you do copy pasting, you just, yes, you understand it in that moment, but then you like certain terms start to like, and certain definitions and certain things start to like vaporize away. Okay, so I think having this system to implement my knowledge is really gonna help me out, even though like at this moment in time I have no fucking clue what all of this stuff. I mean, I kind of know something, but I don't have like a clear idea of like each fucking meaning of like the segmentation, positioning. I mean, I know that, but I still have, I don't have like a consolidated view of all of this. And I feel like if I read this twice, I will know this better, but not fully, I guess, and not perpetually, I guess. So yeah, I really feel like these, and I also got an idea on how to use this space repetition system now. I gotta share it with you. That's actually the reason I made this video. Like I was so excited about this idea. Very fucking stupid reason to start a video, but I guess a reason is a reason, and the video is started. That's the important part. Basically, I want to say first that probably like this space repetition thing is one of the only, things that came out of my, obsessive fucking workflow stuff that actually fucking works. And it's not just like a nothing noodle of fucking, obsessing over perfectionisms and systems and workflows and second brain bullshit. Okay, it is actually one of the first things that I think is useful out of the whole Obsidian sphere and time management, productivity apps, and all of that. I think this is one of the select few things I actually use and think I'm really benefiting from. Okay, because I'm remembering things that I would not otherwise remember, honestly. Like it's one thing to read a paragraph or to read a book and have it read, and it's one thing to have it continuously, perpetually asked to you regarding based on your remembrance of that topic. Okay, so yeah, basically this thing is allowing me to recall things that I would not otherwise recall. Like if I was studying normally, basically I will not recall certain things because I simply will not remember about them. And this counteracts this like negative curve, I guess, that goes down. It kind of picks up those things that you forget and puts them in your face. Like, and the more it is like a very punishing system. Like the more you forget about things, the more they're gonna be shown to you. So it's fucking crazy good to like force yourself into understanding stuff. And when I say forcing myself into understanding stuff, I really mean this, because when I studied the cell and the cell structure, when I wrote down the notes, even though I kind of understood the basic concepts and the function, I guess, a little bit of the different organelles and the eukaryotic cell differences, I just didn't understand the full complexity of it, like fully. I didn't have a grasp. Even though I wrote down the notes and I was testing myself on it daily, I still didn't understand it very well. So I was basically forcing myself to understand something in a fun way, obviously. And the thing is that over time, I actually now know many things about the cell. I actually understand it very well, like way more than I used to understand. Usually, here is how I look at it. Usually, when you study, you like the first read you have, you're like, okay, this thing happened in history and it was due to him doing that, and so he reacted in this way. And you're like, I understand this, it's pretty obvious. And that's the peak of understanding. Then over time you start to forget why that guy did that thing and why he reacted like that, and you start to make assumptions and you start losing the, you know, not only interest and perception, you start to like slowly fade the knowledge. Unless you actually read it again, and it may last longer this time, but still, you have to read it like 3 or 4 times, and it's still something that you don't know if you will remember. Like over time, you probably will forget about it, and like in a year from now, you don't remember why that guy did that thing, and there is nothing you can do about it. Okay, you will not remember it because you forgot about it. So that's the beauty of this thing. This basically allows you to store those forgotten knowledge memories, and when you less expect it, there you go, you're remembered about those things and you're like, oh fuck, that's right. And yeah, I was saying, I got off track. Usually when you study normally, when you read the stuff is the peak moment of understanding. You understand that. Then if you have to repeat it to someone else, you're like, fuck, I have to read it again. Okay, that's how it works there. You read it, you understand it, and when you are trying to explain it again without reading the book and without using the text basically and the images, you just don't know how to explain it. And you realize that you only understood it at that moment. Now that you have to repeat it, you gave for granted too many things and you don't know how to explain it. So you basically, you know, the I guess the line of understanding, like not the line, I guess fucking, I don't know, like the understanding went from high to low. You're kind of getting a bit more ignorant on that thing. I feel like this is the opposite, because at the beginning I didn't really understand the cell and all of that stuff. Like I wrote down the information, but I really didn't fully understand it, like just barely enough to make sense of the phrase and move on to the next paragraph of the book, and that's it. I didn't understand it fully. Over time, by asking, like forcing myself to read that every day because I didn't fucking understand it, so it will basically pop up every day, and still to this day there are still things that are popping up because they didn't fully or extremely fluently understand them. And by this repetition, I started like always reading and trying to remember the definitions and all of the different things. It's starting to get like, I basically understood it. From writing things down barely enough to understanding them barely enough to write the next thing, and now I've done that. That's done. I can just relax, sit back, and do the fucking flashcards and enjoy the process basically, and play the fucking game. It's so fucking good, man. Such a convoluted and long sentence, and yeah, just to say that I think I'm lacking this method of learning, and I think it's very useful for many applications, I guess. You know, especially things that you're like, I want to remember this stuff, but I just don't want to get into it because I don't know, I just have to look at it every day. It's kind of annoying. Like geography, like knowing where states are in the world. That's something I wanted to get into, and I got into with this thing, and it's like fucking easy, man. They're not showing every day because it was so fast of an improvement, or like of a learning curve. That was the word, not line. The learning curve was so high that I don't get many geography flashcards to this day. Like they're very far apart. And here is the idea I wanted to explain to you. There is another thing that I always wanted to learn, and I knew that the only way to learn that was to practice. Okay, daily practice, repetition, basically repetition learning. There are things that you can understand just by understanding the basic concept and applying that, like math. Okay, math, Walter White, and there are things that just require practice and constant like revision, I guess. one of those things which I think I will now apply with the respective repetition method is knots. Fucking knots, man. I love knots. I think that's one of the not most useful skill, but when it comes down to it, knowing how to make knots is such an amazing skill. It's so much cool. Okay, I love being knowledgeable about knots. There are many scenarios where I have to tie something and I'm clueless. I don't know, like, how did fucking people thousands of years ago knew this better than I do, and I'm in the 20th century, which I guess means nothing, but it just bothers me, the fact that it doesn't bother me, it just surprises me that people that I deem to be more ignorant or surface, that I think we can agree that now we are smarter than, I guess, 3,000 years ago. I guess maybe it's very egoistic of you, but we have access to a lot of more knowledge and education, I guess. So it's, but they knew how to fucking make knots, and I do not. And when it comes down to practical stuff, maybe I'm camping, I'm doing survival, bushcraft or whatever, or maybe like I'm just fucking doing practical stuff in the house and I don't know how to tie a knot. And it's such a fundamental skill, man, I believe. So I want to make, like, I want the name of the knot, and then like next to it the image of how to make the knot, and basically how it will work. I would try to have like a string here, and I will, when the the section of the knots flashcards comes up, I will take the code and bam, I click and I try to make the knot. And if I make it, I say it's easy and whatever. Okay, so I think it's gonna be a very cool way to test my learning and consolidate my knotting, my twisting fucking knots skills, I guess. Yeah, that's something I wanted to do. Also, Braille. I would like to learn Braille. I watched a video of this guy explaining it, and it was surprisingly persuasive. Honestly, I thought it was like kind of bullshit. He was like talking about, so he's like a memory champion, something like that, and he was explaining this stuff, and I was like, that's an awful way to remember stuff. But honestly, I was surprised because even though it sounded very fucking stupid and honestly like not even that good of a method, like the phrases he was coming up with to describe like the set of words that you would have to remember to the memory shit, it didn't sound very fluent at all. Like I was like, I could come up with better stories to remember stuff, and that maybe or maybe not the case, but what he told me, like in that video, I was able to decipherate some of, like, most of the things he put out at the end as an exercise. Maybe they were also very easy, but still I think it's very reachable in a small time frame. Okay, understanding Braille, which is the language of fucking skin contact. Why do I want to learn that? I know fucking clue. The same reason I want to learn state, just to be knowledgeable, I guess, and knowing things, as well as knots. Okay, knots have a more practical use, but yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do, I guess. Now I don't want to spend too much time again on Excel, because I've noticed that I spend a lot of time on nothingness, basically formatting, trying to, and that's not cool, like, I guess. I'm tracking my time with this script that ChatGPT made. It's very cool. It's basically a simplified version of what I was doing a few months ago, which was very cool, honestly. But I got a lot of info which I still have to analyze properly. Basically, I was counting everything I was doing. Like my time was completely logged, and I have to say, props to me, because I kind of came up with a very doable, achievable workflow to track my time, which wasn't super fucking clanky. But at this moment in time, I wanted something more like completely, even more easy and mindless. And I want to adopt the same philosophy as for this channel. Basically, I don't want to do something that is over time, yes, sustainable, but kind of a pain in the ass. This channel is like so fucking low effort that it makes me want to use it, because I don't have any high expectations. yeah, so the same thing with the tracking my time. I'm using this fucking thing made by AI. I asked him to make this up basically, and this HTML file. I will eventually probably modify that to suit my needs, but it's very fucking cool. Basically, there is a bottom here and there is a timeline. Every time you click the bottom, it tracks when you clicked it, and the difference between like from 11 to 11:23, it pairs like 23 minutes, okay? And yeah, these are very basic, not too specific stuff, just to also the timeline shows you the distance between the points, so you can also visually visualize the time spent on certain things. For example, I wake up, I click, I do my batch of work, I do that, then I do something else, and I say, oh wait man, I spent this amount of time doing fucking nothing. That's a shame. While in this, for example, in this period I did a lot of progress, so there is something wrong with this because I didn't do much here, and that's kind of a way to assess your productivity and to kind of understand what you're doing wrong, I guess. Like it happened that I will do things and I kind of lost track of time. I will not know how much time passed. This really helps me stay grounded and not like despair, not be sad about like not understanding how much time I spent on something, because like sometimes I think I spent like half an hour on something and I'm kind of upset. Then I look at this and I'm like, oh okay, no, just 8 minutes, that's reasonable, I guess. Okay, I thought I wasted more time, and it happened. Like I had not many but a bunch of these moments today, and I really like this. I don't know, this thing, I enjoy this. It also shows me when I think I spend little time on something, where I spend a fucking 35 minutes on something that wasn't even that necessary or useful, and I'm like, okay, there is something I have to forgo in the future. So that's very cool. Let me tell you what I did these days. I don't fucking know, man. I really worked on the Excel sheet, and that's very small to say, but it's very big in practice, because I included many of my expenses and many of my reasoning and calculation into this. A lot of it was also formatting at the end of the day, but I also spent a lot of time fixing formulas, because I noticed there were many mistakes, and I made some modifications, some automation. Yeah, basically I improved the overall structure, and that's not the end. I will want to improve this even more. But I realized that as much as I usually try to make things perfect from the start, I've learned, I guess, I don't know if I learned this already in past experiences and forgot it. Maybe I should I should write it in the fucking flashcards, man. Maybe it will remind me, maybe, who knows. But basically, instead of like, as much as I want to make things perfect at first, I discovered that the best method is to just throw down the general idea with a fucking random ass, even like counterproductive format, and later, when you are fresh of mind, when you are not into it for when you are into something like Excel for a long time, you start losing track of what's important and losing track of like what goes where and why, and the different categories. And when you are fresh with your mind, you can kind of look at it from above and see, okay, why didn't I unite these two values together? I could just keep this whole table, I guess. I can put this next to this thing because they are kind of similar. I can put this in the same table. Maybe I should put this horizontal to occupy a space. You know, this comes with time, but I think you have to throw down the fucking like the brain matter down. The brain matter sounds very cruent. You have to throw down your rough idea and the important stuff, and then you later you have time to refine it, basically. And when that time comes, you can go crazy, especially if you are fresh with your mind and you have a lot of like mental like brain points, and you can expand them, and you don't feel the fatigue in moving around tables and rearranging stuff. Takes a lot of mental effort, which kind of impossible to do it at the end of the day, honestly. I feel like it's very easy to do at the beginning. As for anything, at the beginning is always easier, so you have to be cautious on how you spend your initial brain points, I guess, in the morning. Also, today I woke up pretty early, like 8, and I started getting to work. I was happy, man. I was laying on my bed, and when I woke up, instead of thinking like how my fucking life sucked and how like I hated my situation, I literally was thinking about formulas on Excel. I was like, that thing should be like that. So in order to fix that, I could easily just do that times that and see how it goes across all of the sections. And then now that I think about it, that formula I just thought about is simply a percentage. So a percentage is just like a fucking fractional number, a 0.6, a 0.4 times something else, because that's the percentage. And like, that's so fucking logical. Why didn't I think about it before? That's so obvious. And I'm like lying there, stealing my kind of trance like state between dreams and waking up. That's also very cool. Like, you're in that state, you're not waking up yet, you're still kind of in a dream. And the interesting part, the reason I say this is because when I woke up, I almost forgot what I was thinking about, like I do with dreams. Like, I was thinking about formulas and how I could implement them here, and I had to spend some time remembering what I was thinking, because I was such in a parallel dimension that I was like a fucking domain all of its own, on its own. Yeah. Man, I'm speaking so fucking much. I'm a fucking yapper. Yeah, I have to get this stuff off of me because I have to catalog or log everything, man. I think that's one of my things. Even with the channel, man, I'm starting to realize I'm a big fan of sharing my life. Maybe because I don't have anyone to share it with, who knows? But yeah, that's cool. I think I can stop the video. I said already a bunch of stuff, and I don't know if I'm addressing the important topics, but hey, that's the thing. In this channel, I don't give a fuck. That's the low effort kind of mentality I need to have in order to keep this up, okay? So even though it's not like, oh, the fucking logging my experiences and emotions throughout my entrepreneurship journey, entrepreneurial, that's okay, I don't give a fuck. I'm just making random videos and archiving them. It's an archive, okay? YouTube is free for as much as I know, I guess. I don't know for how long it will be this way, but luckily it has basically unlimited storage, so I can post as much fucking bullshit as I want. Yeah, man, I love cataloging. This is history, man. If you're watching this in 3500, I don't think history would be considered history there, I guess. But yeah, this is recorded stuff. I would love to see a video like this made from a Sumerian or from a fucking Neanderthal, man. Would be cool to see what they think. How would they would express themselves, you know. But at least I'm the Homo sapiens that made this record. Yeah, so let me think if there is anything else to say relevant to my journey. Oh, wait, this is the... Yeah, no, I don't know. I guess I'll go back to researching, doing market research, and first off, finishing off the flashcards. Also, you know what? Well, I think reading something like a paper about like market research, like I'm doing, it's kind of overwhelming, and I feel like spaced repetition and learning the vocabulary, the lexicon, and the definitions of the different things in this paper really, really helps me lose the fear of the paper. Because when I read this, there is kind of this overwhelming kind of sensation. I'm not gonna say fear, but kind of like being oppressed. Like there is an oppression of this paper on me. Like this paper poses a pretty good oppression upon my feelings and my, I don't know, my mind, like my mindset, like my current emotion, I guess. And by understanding stuff through the space, this is also a very good reason, I didn't mention this before, I guess this is another good reason I like to integrate the syntax, is because by repeating continuously and learning what there is on that paper, and repeating the sentences and segments of paragraphs, and I kind of read that more times, and I kind of elucidate the concepts. And by understanding the lexicon, the words, fucking hell, I actually lose it doesn't pose as much as an oppression as before. This also happened with what? I don't know. I think there was another, yeah, I think it happened somewhere. Maybe with accounting, maybe. But basically, yeah, I mean, this is very cool, I guess. Yeah, basically, maybe now it feels a little bit scary and overwhelming, this whole paper, but over time, by learning the spaced repetition thing, I start to not only understand it more, but if I read it again, I am more knowledgeable and I can comprehend way more things than before. And it also feels less scary, that's the thing. So that's another reason why I'm really starting to like implementing as much as syntax for spaced repetition as much as possible in basically everything I read, especially if it sounds scary or overwhelming. That's kind of an innate response I had. Only now that I articulated with my thoughts, I understand why I did that, and it was simply to try and lose the fear of that argument just by defining so many things that I had to read it over and over and understand the things forcefully. Fucking hell. My speaking is on fire, kind of. My parents are back. The feds are outside, like Ken says in his videos. And come andava?
Non c'ho infezioni in corso,
Tutto
l'ottorino magistro, no, l'ecografia ha evidenziato lo stato infiammatorio Flowbus, insomma. Quindi dall'ecografia si vedeva che c'era qualcosa, ma dall'esame del sangue non c'è nessun valore alterato di quelli normali, PCR, quindi non è né un ascesso né un'infezione virale o batterica, qualsiasi, quindi è quello che pensavo, che è legato all'autoimmunità che sta iniziando a presentarsi. E quindi mi hanno fatto una prescrizione per un reumatologo. Sono andata l'8 di agosto dal reumatologo.
Sopra non trovo le chiavi.
Non è aperto su?
Non trovo le chiavi.
Ma anche qui non aveva fede.
Mi sono distratto, c'hai ragione.
C'è il condizionatore acceso, poi la fisca fuori.
C'hai ragione. So I forgot to open the windows. It was fresh outside, and between doing the kitchen, recording the video, I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'll close the video because there are my parents coming inside my room. Yeah, I wanna make an outro though. So annoying. I should not allow these interruptions, I guess. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Yeah, man, I worked out, all fine. Tomorrow it's a festivity, and I don't give a fuck, man. So I got the fucking water spray. Oh, so good. Yeah, that's kind of it for today. I don't think there is anything else. I mean, there is probably way more things to say, but I have to come to terms with the fact that I'm not gonna be able to remember all of them in our daily log. There are things, very cool things I probably would have liked to say in this video about today, but I guess that's not for our reach to know. What? Yeah, see you tomorrow.